Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is OpenIT's webinar entitled Transforming OpenIT Raw Usage Data into Actionable Insights. My name is May, and I will be your host for today. Together, let's learn to create reports and dashboards to monitor and analyze your software license usage, such as admin reports for overall software license consumption and compliance and costs, manager reports for team performance and budget comparison, and product management reports for portfolio consumption and usage patterns. Before we get started, let me encourage everyone to ask questions. Just drop them in the chat box and our speaker will address them during the Q&A session. If we don't have the opportunity to answer all the questions, or if there are any questions that need further investigation, rest assured that we will send them to Sigi and we will reach out via email or through LinkedIn to answer those inquiries. As a solutions architect, our speaker has one mission: to deliver results that add value to his clients. Highly experienced in customer relationship management, he has worked with high-profile clients from multiple verticals, helping them reach their goals by maximizing their software investments. Let's welcome Sagi Reuven.
Thank you very much, May. So let me take you to an actionable report, which helps you gain insight into your engineering license usage. Now I'm going to show you a few reports here dedicated to various questions that we usually have when operating the day-to-day operations, when procuring new licenses, and so on. So as you know, OpenIT collects information from all different license servers in your organization and deposits them in various interfaces. One which I'll focus on today is Power BI. You can use any BI tool, Excel, because OpenIT uses something called an OLAP Cube technology, which is basically the industry standard for data analysis. So what do we get? First of all, what's going on in the system? How many licenses I have? How many are concurrently used? What is my overall utilization? You can create different dashboards to fit your needs. You can create different KPIs to fit your organization or manager's requests. Now, we use business intelligence tools to show the data because it allows us to gain more visibility into existing raw usage. So we can take this raw usage and aggregate it however we like, per location, per department, per company, and get those KPIs which are really hard to create based on the licensing types. If it's a network concurrent license, it might be hard to calculate, where OpenIT can do that easily. So besides seeing the data, viewing max license usage, do I have enough licenses? Do I need more licenses? Well, we can take it up one step further and conduct different simulations, different what-if scenarios that really help you gain a better understanding into what's best for your company based on your license usage patterns. So let me take you to this first report. It's a LAN versus WAN simulation. We had a client which owned 11 different license servers, each with local licenses on them, meaning that a France license server can only serve French users, each defined to a specific zone. So they asked the question, will it be better to just go with one server that has global licenses? So we ran the numbers. Basically, what you see here in the bars stacked on top of each other is the different license servers, the local servers. Combined, you can see where their usage got. But if we would actually have a global license instead, imposing it on historical data, if everybody was sharing the same pool of licenses, then how many licenses will be used? What would be the max used then? Well, this you can see in the red line right here, showing us about 15 to 20% usage reduction. Now, a global license is a bit more expensive than local licenses, but in this case, they saw it would be more profitable with just going with one global license server instead of maintaining 11. Now, I spoke about concurrent licenses, network licenses, but you might have a mix of licenses, of software, of versions in your organization, and you would like to stay on top of it. So this report can answer these burning questions. How many licenses do I need from each type? How many network licenses versus named licenses will I need? Let's say you've got MATLAB, and MATLAB sometimes provides pool of named licenses along with network licenses. What's the mix between them that you need? Well, you can run the data and see that users are not actually using their named license. Maybe they use it one day a year. Well, they can be in the floating license pool, freeing up this named license for someone who actually uses it. And you can take him from the floating license pool and give him a named license because he uses it all day, every day. You would like to stay on top of the different versioning as well. As you know, all the vendors, they publish new versions every year, every 6 months, depending on the vendor. So you can keep track of which host names are actually using those old versions. So you can uninstall those old versions and get new ones. Because maybe you want to decommission that server, but people are still using that old version, making you slightly out of compliance. But let's take it one step further. Once we implement the cost into the system, so we add the contract, the allotments, the prices of the different licenses, we can get reports which are based not only on usage, but also cost, meaning how much did you pay for the licenses, not only how much did you use. Expanding on that, we can create different what-if scenarios and forecasts, which help you answer, well, more burning questions regarding procurement. As an example, we have a client which came up to us with a strange case. Bentley, the vendor Bentley, offer them a new type of filter called 15-minute filter. It's a new licensing model. So you got the old one and the new one that they offered, meaning that if someone opened Bentley and closed the application within 15 minutes, that's not a license taken. So imposing that on historical data, how much will we actually save if we would have gone with the new licensing model? So right here, we can see in black the new licensing model and the old one in green, where clearly we can see that it reduces their license usage by about 10%, making it more profitable and saving about $250,000 as a result. Now we track the sessions, distinct users, concurrent licenses, but also different tokens. and the cost of those tokens as well. Meaning that you can use OpenIT to gather information and concentrate it in one place for all the different engineering licenses that you have, not only floating, not only named, all of them. Up to a point where we can even manage and monitor dongle-based licenses. So if you don't have a license manager for it, it's a dongle. You plug it into your PC as an end user, and there you go, you have the license. How can you track that? Well, OpenIT can track that as well. Instead of tracking the license servers, we track it on the workstation itself and provide different reports that indicate who has the application, who's using it for how long, everything. If they're using with a serial, without a serial, etc. Lastly, you might know that OpenIT has 3 different levels, where level 1 tracks the check-ins and check-outs of licenses from the license server. Level 2 tracks if the users actually used that license with which they checked out. And level 3 is the next logical conclusion, basically suspending the application and sending the license back in the pool for other people to use. So what does it give us? It can generate reports showing you the activity versus inactivity over the time, but not only how long they were active or inactive, also if they were suspended and how long they stayed suspended. So what OpenIT can do, building on top of the data, because with every report you've seen, we have the data presented, historical usage, but we also have simulations and calculations which are built on top of it. So building on top of level 2, we can generate efficiency reports, basically telling you the amount of time spent on each level. Meaning that getting 2 people to work at the same time, well, that happens a lot. But getting like 56 people working at the same time, that barely happens. It's like 0.6% of the time. Very negligible. Showing us the true amount of licenses that we need. Now, where's the kicker? This is based on data from level 2, meaning if nobody was idling with their licenses, meaning if you start level 3 and harvest those licenses, then how many licenses will you actually need? So you might check efficiency and see that you can reduce anywhere between 10 to 20% of your licensing portfolio, just because you might have a few licenses which are redundant and barely ever used. So if you would like to reach, let's say, a 99% efficiency, we can have only 54 licenses or 52. We don't need that much. If we're okay with 95, well, then we just need around 44 licenses. Now, what we see from the efficiency reports usually is anywhere between 10 to 20% in cost reduction. Now, you can have this presented in many different ways, as you've seen. You've got bar chart, line charts, heat maps, as you see here, which shows us the days of the week and the hours of the day, and how the usage patterns are spread across the week. So if we take this as an example, I have some usage during weekends, which is something to be checked. I also have some usage outside of working hours, meaning users are either just taking applications, leaving them open until tomorrow, which is a behavior you might want to change, or even leaving them open for the entire weekend so they'll have it when they come back on Monday. Again, a behavior you might want to change, and you can have actionable insights based on OpenIT's raw usage data, which we present in various interfaces, but our favorite one is Power BI. But you can use Tableau, Click, CSense, Excel, SSRS reporting, anything. All right. So I would leave it now to you guys if you have any questions for me about what you've seen, about OpenIT, about data collection, then go ahead.
Thank you very much, Sagi, for that insightful presentation. And we've got several questions here from our attendees. And if Sagi is all set for the question and answer session, we can start now. Okay, Sagi, here's your
Go ahead.
first question. Will I need to manually make the connection between tables of the OLAP cube?
So no, the specialty of the OLAP cube is the fact that everything comes bundled as one cube. Now, an OLAP cube basically holds different dimensions and measures. Now, these are atomic, basically. They connect to each other by default. So when you use Power BI or Tableau or any other BI tool, if it can connect to SQL Server analysis services, then it will pull all the connections automatically. So you won't have to define all the different data types and data points for Power BI. It will just do it automatically.
Thank you. Here's another question. What other data sources can I integrate into OpenIT's using Power BI?
So one of the strengths of business intelligence tools is its possibility to integrate many data sources. So you'll have raw usage from OpenIT, which you can generate into reports, but you can add to it other data sources like ERP, like ticketing systems. You can add databases like Active Directory if you want to gain a deeper knowledge into the user. Many different options that Power BI and other BI tools allow you to integrate. So with Active Directory, for example, you'll connect between the username. With the ERP system, you might connect with the feature name. With the ticketing system, you might connect with the users again. So all these can help you gain much better insight and great visibility into your licensing environment.
Thank you, Sagi. And a third question. Can OpenIT track dongle-based licenses like HASP?
So yes, so we can track it as I've shown before. It's tracked not on a license server because we not necessarily will have a license manager here. So if it's a license manager, we just monitor the log files, the LMstat. We run several commands to get the information out of the logging of the license server. But for dongle based, we put the client component on the end user workstation. Now you can roll out this client, just, go workstation by workstation, next, install all of them manually, or you can use SCCM and install them silently within the group policies of your users. So they open up their system and they have the client already installed, they didn't even know it's installed. It will run in the background and will collect um, information on processes which are starting up and stopping, providing you the start time and end times and all the different calculations that come with that for that dongle-based license. So we have it with CodeMeter, with some HASP licenses, many vendors which provide it. So we define which process it will track. Basically, in the core component, it gets transmitted to all the clients, which feature, which process are we tracking. And this will flow into the same data set that you have for network or named licenses. It's in the same data set. It will just not be a feature or a package, it will be a handle. That's you'll have distinction between those.
Great. And we have question number 4. Do we have to stick with Power BI or can I use it with other BI tools?
So you don't have to stick with Power BI. You can go with any BI tool. As I mentioned, we dump the data into an OLAP cube. And anything that can access an OLAP cube, you can use here. Now, most business intelligence tools, Excel, any data analysis tool will automatically connect to the OLAP cube and allow you to start generating reports. Some applications might do it a bit differently. Some might require a bit more manual configuration in the back end, such as Tableau, which you will need to do some manual work. But our favorite is Power BI, and we have several templates which you can start working with. You don't have to create the report yourself. You can either have us create it, use our own dashboards that we provide, or if you want to create it yourself and just get help and support with generating the reports, like, hey, what do I need to take in order to make this report? How do I filter it? All that, then we can help you as well understand the OpenIT dataset.
Thank you, Sagi. And oh yeah, we have another question here. What are the advantages that Power BI has over other data analysis tools?
So I would say it's cohesiveness with other Microsoft tools. So Power BI integrates very well into the 365, Microsoft 365 package. So it integrates well with Teams, with your Outlook, with anything. That's one of the benefits I would say it has over others. Beyond that, the ease of use. It's much easier to use Power BI. Ease of configuration. As I said, some will require some manual work for the OLAP, and Power BI doesn't require anything. You just click next. You got everything there. You can start working. And the amount of integratable sources. So Tableau might be able to integrate with Active Directory, some ERP systems, maybe Google or whatever. But Power BI can integrate easily with many things: Azure, SQL Server, analysis services, all the different databasing services that Microsoft has. Basically, it's easily integrated into the suite and integrates more than other tools, from what we've noticed.
Great. Thank you so much, Sagi. We are actually waiting for one more question, but in case it doesn't make it, I would like to ask you for some parting words for our viewers, Sagi, before we end this webinar.
Yeah, So basically, you should know what you have, how well it's used, then you can optimize your license usage because there's no sense in paying for licenses which you're not really using.
Great. Thank you so much, Sigi, and to all our attendees for joining today's webinar. A quick reminder that this webinar is recorded and can be immediately replayed after this live stream, but we will also upload it on our website. We appreciate your attendance at this webinar. For any questions or inquiries, you may send us an email at webinars@openit.com. Please visit our website at openit.com and follow OpenIT Inc. on social media. You can also read our two latest blogs, Creating Customizable Reports with License Analyzer and Power BI Tableau, and From Data to Decision, Leveraging Historical Usage with Power BI Tableau Integration. Connect with one of our solutions consultants and get started with your software optimization journey. Once again, this is May, your host for today. Thank you and stay safe.